You are listening to the FTWpodcast.com, where we talk about wrestling in all of its laughable glory. Here's a clip from this week's episode.
You can ask us questions by emailing questions at FTWpodcast.com. You can send us a tweet at FTWpodcast, use the hashtag FTWLive, and also post it on our Facebook wall. Chris from the Impact Wrestling Facebook group that we're part of, he asked, what's next for Samoa Joe and Magnus? You know, after now they're the tag team champions, what possibly is going to stand in their way, considering the only other viable tag teams was Morgan and Crimson, and they're technically feuding, sort of.
Well, I think what's next is they're going to continue doing what works. I mean, this tag team mentality that Magnus and Samoa Joe have formed is just working beautifully. It's allowing Joe to get back into the Joe's going to kill you mentality. The crowd's starting to do it. Hopefully, we might see some of the other tag teams come back, like Motor City Machine Guns and maybe a couple of other ones, and have Samoa Joe run against that. But after the tag team phase is over, I want to see Samoa Joe get into the world title race.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I'd love to see Samoa Joe in the title race, but they, for whatever reason, have no faith in him right now as a singles wrestler. So I don't think it happens. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it.
You know, I can't wait for Samoa Joe versus ODB in like a 3-month battle. I think EY and ODB is probably the most interesting tag team they've got, only because you've got a woman fighting dudes, like a mixed tag team where they're fighting dudes, and it's okay. That's brilliant. I love it. I like the fact that TNA will let women fight guys like that.
Yeah. Well,
it actually shows there can actually be wrestlers as opposed to the skinny sex icons that WWE's pushing out.
Right. I mean, and this is something TNA's been doing for a while. I mean, Daphne, for example, took a black hole slam from Abyss. Awesome Kong had matches against guys. ODB has, I'm right with you, Joe. It sends the message that, hey, women can be professional wrestlers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to go back to Magnus real quick, the live chat, RK Voices is saying Joe and Magnus need legit contenders, which is something, we've all said. And really, that's, just illuminating the issues with the tag team divisions across the board.
They should hire Brent, London and Kendrick.
Well,
they just got rid of Kendrick.
They just got rid of Kendrick.
I know that. Bring him back, get him a new contract, maybe less money, because, he needs to work, and bring back London, and they can be fuck-ups together.
But one of the things that could work here for TNA with this hole that they have is a lot of the wrestlers who are still on the roster but not being used, just have them start forming tag teams. You might get some legitimate tag teams. You might get some reformations of old tag teams. There's a lot of things that you could see that I think would make for interesting challengers to Samoa Joe and Magnus.
Yeah, and outside the tag team division, obviously it would be nice to see Magnus being pushed into, say, the television title race, like Rob, like you said. That's also being echoed in the live chat.
TV title, or even X Division. Give Magnus a shot in the X Division too.
Sure.
Well, you've heard our thoughts, but now we want to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, and even join us live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. at the FTWpodcast.com.